Hey there, it's Gary Parrish. Welcome back to the CBS Sports Eye on College Basketball podcast, where we sometimes discuss camel fighting, dodo birds, and leaky black. The Eye on College Basketball podcast, it is presented by Jersey Mike's Subs. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Matt Norlander is here with me. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button like you're Brandon Davies. You have consent. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the CBS Sports College Basketball YouTube channel, please do that while you're here. Okay, let's get into it. We will talk basketball in a moment, but first, an announcement. And the announcement is this. You might have seen it on Twitter. We are taking the Eye on College Basketball podcast to CBS Sports Network next week on Tuesday and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. No joke. They're putting this, like what you're watching right now, they're putting this show on television. Will they regret it? Maybe. Will we be the first show to discuss premarital sex on a sports network? Possibly. Deadleg, first question. Are you ready to be called Deadleg on national television? Because I don't think that's ever happened.
No, I don't think so. Are you ready to do this on national television?
I'm a Sun Devil. Look at me. I'm a Sun Devil.
You ready to do that?
You don't think I'll do a Sun Devil impersonation on TV? Of course I will.
Listen, yeah, it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. TV first. It's going to be. We will be on at least Tuesday. I'm going to be in my office both days here. GP will be in his office for Tuesday. And I think the plan is for him to be up there in the New York studio on Wednesday, 4 to 5 Eastern. But it will be the podcast, but on TV. They decided to do it. We are about to be the first. How about this? We're going to be the first sports podcast to ever go on television. We're going to make history again.
Making history again. We're making more history these days than Antoine Davis. You know.
I think that might be true. So thank you to our audience. You guys are obviously a major part of why they've decided to put us on TV. And a lot of the stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday will be, very real. It's going to be a normal podcast, but those are big time conference tournament set the table kind of days. So we will react in real time to some stuff. And they will be hour-long episodes. So if you are not around your television at that point, just set your DVR and record it and catch us on CBS Sports Network, and looking forward to it. Should be awesome. I'm wondering, I mean, when we do this, it's not going to be a simulcast on YouTube. So Parrish will not be saying smash the like button like you're Brandon Davies. Maybe you will. I don't know. You're going to say it anyway. There's going to be no like button to smash. You're going to say it anyway. Okay.
I feel like I got to tell somebody to smash something.
Okay.
There's got to be something you can smash.
What are we setting the over-under at premarital sex references at? 2.5?
I mean, I think the entire A block should be about the pros and cons of premarital sex. It's going to be a normal podcast, except it's not really going to be a normal podcast. For instance, we have a defined window. We can't tell you. And before we get out of here in a couple of minutes and then talk for another 25 minutes, like we are
going to try.
We might. Poor Time to Shine will never come on. We'll just still be sitting there talking about some concert from 1998. And Adam Shine will be sitting in the studio like, hey, these guys need to wrap it up. They're eating into my show. No, we're going to start at 4. We're going to be done at 5. And we do have like lots of commercial breaks because it's a television show. So I hope you enjoy short segments because
see how that goes.
I think we have like 5 commercial breaks in 1 hour. So, so short. I'll plan short segments and then it'll be fun.
And then, by the way, next Thursday, GP and I will also have another first. We will be in the studio, in the CBS Sports Network studios together on Thursday. There are 4 Mountain West quarterfinals that will be airing on CBS Sports Network. So I will be in the studio for the first time down there for CBS Sports Network, and I will be on set with GP. So for 2 halftime shows and 2 inside college basketball. So it is a big CBS Sports Network situation for all things pod related next week. That'll be Thursday in the pods again, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 Eastern on CBS Sports Network.
Ever since I became an Inside Edition correspondent, things have just been taken off,
That's true.
We just sort of taken it to a new level. No, in all seriousness, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a good time. And I hope all of you who listen, wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, or who watch us on YouTube, I hope you join us. Again, that's going to be 4:00 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Eye on College Basketball podcast will be on CBS Sports Network. Let's talk basketball. Michigan lost at Illinois on Thursday night. Purdue won at Wisconsin. The byproduct is that Purdue is officially your outright Big Ten champion. We're going to get into that next, but first, a word from our partners.
Hey, on college basketball, it's me, the ghost of Tom Fornelli, coming to you live from beyond the grave with a special message, or actually more of a plea for Gary Parrish. Gary, would you please stay the hell away from the University of Illinois men's basketball team? Earlier this season, we picked up some big wins against UCLA and Texas, and then you jumped on the bandwagon and started driving the Illini train. And I don't know, I don't pay that much attention to the news, but as far as I'm aware, you driving the Illini train is the biggest train disaster this country has seen in a long time. It has been nothing but downhill from there. Now they're losing games to teams like Northwestern and Penn State. We're looking at an 8 or 9 seed. We are not going to win the Big Ten. Please stay the hell away from the Illini. Unless you could shoot more than 30% from three. If that's the case, get off the train and get onto the roster and get on scholarship, because we could probably use your help in the NCAA tournament.
Is the ghost of Tom Fornelli. It's the ghost of Tom Fornelli. It's like we had a Patrick Swayze ghost, and now we have a Tom Fornelli ghost.
Wow. Some intra-CBS podcast energy right there. I think that is Nada's doing entirely. Well done, Nada. Well done. I didn't. That is. Wow. He's crashed our podcast. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe.
I hope that after I've been gone for 2 months, that I hold it together as well as Fornelli has. Looks good for a man who passed away earlier in 2023.
I think so. I agree on that. Illinois did inadvertently help Purdue secure the outright Big Ten title on Thursday, though, right, GP? I think that's what happened. And those two teams play this weekend.
Technically, if I believe either one of these things if Purdue would have won, it wouldn't have mattered what Michigan did. I don't believe, because Purdue would have been sitting there still with 5 conference losses. Michigan would have still had 7, and Purdue only's got 1 game left. So I believe, if my math is right, and it might not be, that Purdue, by winning, was going to be your outright Big Ten champ. Purdue, of course, wins at Wisconsin, close game. But either way, when we woke up on Thursday, what I'm about to say is true. When we woke up on Thursday, Purdue was not officially the outright Big Ten champion. When I woke up on Friday, Purdue was officially the outright Big Ten champion. It's a story we've talked about pretty much all season because, as you know, Purdue was unranked in the preseason Associated Press poll. Although I went and looked at it, you and I were higher on Purdue than most people.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
I had Purdue ranked 20. I went back to the very first version 1.0 of the top 25 and 1 that was posted after the national championship game last season, Kansas over North Carolina. And I had Purdue 24th in the top 25 and 1. And here's what I wrote. The Boilermakers ranking is based on Purdue returning 3 of the top 7 scores from a team that made the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Among them, All-American candidate Zach Edey. Admittedly, that's not a lot, but Matt Painter deserves the benefit of the doubt based on the consistency with which he runs his program. I stand by that comment. It's held up well.
Do you have where I ranked Purdue in my preseason rankings?
I can't do everything.
Okay,
but I do know this.
Okay.
Our preseason Big Ten projections, I had it Indiana 1, Michigan 2, Purdue 3. You had it Illinois 1, Purdue 2, Indiana 3.
Looking right now, I'm pretty sure I have 21. Here it is. Here's where I had Purdue and what I said. Purdue in the preseason, I had the Boilermakers 20. I'll take all of your Zach Edey stock. Gary Parrish continues to hate this program, but I've got him top 20. He refuses to rank them that high. Let's get to the next team, TCU at 21. That's what I had. Okay, there we go. Interesting. I'm normally not that bold in a preseason capsule, but there we are. In all seriousness, the Purdue. I assume you heard the Purdue post on social media. We both
Of
got a little.
course.
clip in
But
there.
I
And that they threw the fans under the bus. It was your clip. It was like, I got Purdue fans coming at me telling me like they don't even think this team's going to be good.
well, like I remember because I think that's I don't know. I don't know when that was, but at some point this offseason, I noticed I had Purdue like in the 20s at the top 25-1. And even Purdue fans were like, and I said this on the pod, and then Purdue pulled it and put it in the post that it had last night. But I was like, even some Purdue fans are like, really? Like, based on what? How are we going to be a top 25 team? And I said, it's because you have Matt Painter. Everything else will work itself out. And did I think they'd be this good? Obviously not. But they're outright Big Ten champs in contention. I don't want to say has a 1 seed locked up because I'm not sure they do, but certainly in contention to still secure a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And we've talked a lot about Coach of the Year stuff throughout the season. Right now, I think my ballot would be Bill Self 1, Shaka Smart 2, Matt Painter 3, Jerome Tang 4, and then 5th, I don't know, Nate Oates, Kelvin Sampson.
Maybe the guy with the best record in the country in Kelvin Sampson. Yeah.
But like for Kelvin, you have to. I think this is important. If you're making the Kelvin case, it's important to recognize like this is a Houston program that was dreadful before he took it over, and now they're preseason top 5, and they've been there all year long. They're number 1 in all of the computers. The context of where he's doing this, I think is the strongest case you can make. It's where you could make the strongest case for Kelvin Sampson. With Nate Oates, like the truth is, like based on purely basketball stuff, he should probably be the clear-cut SEC Coach of the Year and a legitimate National Coach of the Year candidate. I'm wondering how the voting is going to go for him.
Yeah,
of the Brandon Miller situation, because I don't think we talked about this earlier in the week.
Miller didn't win SEC Freshman of the Week when he dropped 41. I know.
Yeah,
I saw
they just didn't give him the award.
They gave it to Nick Smith. Yes.
Yeah. Which is like I get it. But like if you're basing it on basketball stuff, Brandon Miller was the SEC Freshman of the Week. It's crazy to suggest otherwise. But the SEC did not give him that award. And I wonder if Nate Oates is like, here's the truth. Nate Oates should be the SEC Coach of the Year, and Brandon Miller should be the SEC Player of the Year. Will either of them win those awards? I think you could make a case for somebody else for Coach of the Year, maybe Buzz Williams, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how you get anybody the SEC Player of the Year other than Brandon Miller. So it'll be interesting to see if the fact that he's connected to a murder cost him votes when it comes time to tally those things.
Back to Purdue, and let's talk Big Ten. I went on HQ Friday morning, and they tossed out a segment at me, which actually was quite interesting. All right, let's go bubble here. Purdue beats Wisconsin on the road, and Wisconsin almost had it, and it would have been, in my estimation, that win would have been so significant for Wisconsin's resume. I almost wonder if it would have been secure no matter what happened from here on out. But even if not, it would have vaulted them. So Wisconsin, Rutgers, and Michigan, I got asked about. And really, you can throw Penn State into this mix as well. But let's focus on Wisconsin, Rutgers, and Michigan. 3 teams that were in action on Thursday night. Wisconsin loses against Purdue. Rutgers loses at the buzzer at Minnesota after blowing a 10-point lead in the final 80 seconds. Thank you, Fran McCaffrey. And then Michigan goes into double OT but loses against Illinois on the road. I want to know which team you prefer from a resume standpoint right now. Let me lay this out for you, okay? Because it is almost impossible to say I like this one more than the other two. You're going to have a preference, but you can pick apart all these. Ready for this? Wisconsin, who I would probably have as the last team in the field right now. Me. 6 quadrant 1 wins, 11-12, so sub 500 in Q1, Q2, but does not have a bad loss. Rutgers, who I might have Rutgers as the first team out of the field this morning. If not, they're right there with Wisconsin getting in. Here's why. They have 5 Q1 wins, 1 fewer than Wisconsin. They are 9-8 in quad 1 and quad 2, but they have 4 quad 3 losses. Again, the losses have to matter. The losses in Q3 are home to Seton Hall, Nebraska, Temple on a neutral, and then the brutal blown game against Minnesota on Thursday night. Michigan, I think Michigan is probably somewhere like 3 to 6 spots out from being in the bracket right now. They have 3 quad 1 wins, so fewer than Wisconsin, fewer than Rutgers. They're 8-12. They have the worst Q1, Q2 record. They have one quad 4 loss, Central Michigan at home. So they have the worst loss of any of these teams. Right now, the resume-based metrics slightly favor Wisconsin, 48th on average. Rutgers is 53.5, and Michigan is 55 in resume. Predictive favors Rutgers significantly, 30 on average. Michigan is 42.7. Wisconsin, which is the best resume-wise and has no bad losses, Wisconsin predictive-wise, 62.7 on the team sheets. In the net, Rutgers is 38, 37 at KenPom, 57 in strength of record. Michigan is 54 in the net, 42 at KenPom, 58 in strength of record. And then Wisconsin is 77th in the net right now. That would tie Rutgers from last year as the worst net team to get in and at large. 67 at KenPom, 48 in strength of record. I got one more data point for you. My answer is Wisconsin, and here's why. Wisconsin is 7-7 in road neutral games right now. Rutgers is 4-8. Michigan is 5-9. And when you compare those road neutral records with the fact that Wisconsin overall per net strength of schedule is 9, Michigan is 27, Rutgers is 45. Rutgers is not stable. Which of those three, from a resume perspective, do you prefer most?
Let me state that I'm unimpressed by all of them. For what it's worth, Jerry Palm has Michigan, Penn State, Rutgers in the first 4 as of this morning, has Wisconsin first 4 out. I would perhaps correct the record. You said a couple times Wisconsin doesn't have bad losses. It does have
no Q3, Q4s. It has no Q3, Q4s, right?
It does have a Q3.
Oh, then that changed overnight.
Trivia time. What is Wisconsin's Q3 loss?
I have no idea.
Home loss to Wake Forest.
Okay, there we go. My mistake then. That actually alters it slightly. I was almost leaning on Wisconsin specifically because I didn't think it had a Q3 loss. My bad. That one's on me. I was wrong. All right. That literally changes my calculus. With that, I don't know, GP.
I don't you can chop it up however you want to chop it up. Like, obviously, Wisconsin has the most quad 1 wins out of these group of teams that we're talking about. 1 more than Rutgers, 3 more than Michigan. But Rutgers, but
4 of them for Rutgers, man. 4 quad 3 losses. I can't have.
Yeah, I can't get over the 4 quad 3 losses for Rutgers. That's disgusting. That's disgusting behavior. All right, I'm disgusted by 4 quadrant 3 losses. I can't even look at you. Grossing me out to even look at you. I think I'm with you. I think I lean towards Wisconsin, but Jerry's of these schools. Wisconsin's the one Jerry's got out.
I think.
Got 6 more quadrant 1 wins than the other 2, and only 1 quadrant 3 loss. Rutgers has 4 quadrant 3 losses, and Michigan has a yucky quad 4 loss.
It's got the worst one of the group, man. That's also disgusting and offensive.
It's disgusting.
Penn State's kind of in the middle of. I don't want to shun you, Penn State. So Penn State right now is 4 quad 1 wins. It's 8-11, so 3 games under 500 in quad 1, quad 2. It has 1 quad 3 loss. When I look at this, I'm prone to believe that only 2 teams max from this group are going to find their way into the tournament. There's just teams are going to take losses, and water's going to find its level. I will blindly guess that it's going to be. Who does Rutgers have this weekend? Hold on. Let me just, before I say this, Rutgers this weekend.
I've got it. I got everything. Next up is Northwestern at home.
And all right, I will say that I'm going to be wrong on this. I will say that Wisconsin and Michigan get into the field. I can't believe I'm saying Rutgers is going to miss the tournament. But if it loses at home to Northwestern, it will undeniably not have a tournament resume at that point. Yeah, I'll go Wisconsin and Michigan, which means congrats to Penn State and Rutgers. You're dancing.
Okay, of these 4 teams, we'll revisit this on Selection Sunday.
Michigan plays at Indiana. I am insane, okay?
I know that's my problem with Michigan is they got to go to Assembly Hall.
But if they win at Assembly Hall, forget about it. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, but I just don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
But obviously that would be a massive quad 1 win. Of those 4, I think I'm with you. I think 2 of the 4 make it, and I would go Wisconsin and Rutgers. I think Rutgers beats Northwestern at home this weekend, and I think Wisconsin wins at Minnesota this weekend, and Rutgers, Wisconsin make it. Michigan and Penn State do not.
Okay.
Back to Purdue, your outright Big Ten champion. So again, my whole premise on ranking Purdue in the preseason, I went back and looked at all of my comments. No other comment even reads that way. Like I was basically saying, hey, I don't see it based on the projected roster as of this moment, but it's Matt Painter, so I'm ranking him. Like that is the only comment that I worded like, I don't really know what they're bringing back that's so good, but they do have Matt Painter, and that's good enough for me. So the argument was just rooted in they got a coach who always finishes in the top 25 at KenPom. Matt Painter, heading into this season, had 7 straight top 25 KenPom finishes. So I just assumed he would have an 8th. Obviously now he is about to have an 8th straight top 25 KenPom finish, which brings me to trivia time.
All right, what do we got?
What coach,
Mhm.
listen carefully, what coach with a team currently in the top 25 at KenPom has the longest stretch of consecutive top 25 KenPom finishes? It's not Matt Painter, although Matt Painter has 7 and it is about to be 8.
How can this not be Bill Self?
Because he
What am I
finished
missing?
27th in 2021. Ready for this? Bill Self has finished top 25 at KenPom in 23 of the past 24 seasons at Illinois and Kansas, but his streak was broken in 2021 when the Jayhawks finished 27th. You'll see how this happened. They were 18th heading into the NCAA tournament.
And I picked him to lose.
Lost
USC.
by 34 to USC, and it took them all the way from 18th down to 27th. That broke the streak. It should be obvious. Who are the
I mean, then
KenPom
they, like Gonzaga's good every year, so I'm going to say Gonzaga.
Mark
You?
Few has 11 straight top 25 KenPom finishes. It's obviously about to be 12 straight at Gonzaga. Kelvin Sampson has 5 straight.
So
It's about to be
Few's the
6
answer.
straight. I'm sorry?
Few is the answer.
Mark Few is the answer. Mark
Okay.
Few has 11, about to be 12 straight. Then it is Matt Painter, 7, about to be 8 straight. And then it is Kelvin Sampson, 5, about to be 6 straight. Those are coaches currently in the top 25 at KenPom with streaks of consecutive top 25 KenPom finishes.
All right, good deal. Big Ten is tournament's going to be outlandish, and in fact, there's still right now Maryland, Indiana, Iowa are all 11-8. Illinois is 11-8. Michigan's 11-8. Northwestern's 11-8. Michigan State is 10-8. Rutgers is 10-9. Penn State is 9-10. Wisconsin's 8-11. This is just a joke. Like whatever. Like
here's what's Big Ten's going to get like 9 teams in the NCAA tournament, and they're going to have 1 Sweet 16 team. It's going to be something like that.
The Big Ten's going to be the first conference ever to get 9 teams in, and they send all of them to Dayton. It has never been done before. Like this is incredible how this is wind up breaking. But hey, it'll be interesting, and guaranteed there will be urgency from a bubble perspective for 4 teams when they get to postseason play next week. It's a wonderful thing right now. The Big Ten, and here we are, final week of the regular season. There's just there are bubble games galore, and we'll get to that once we preview the weekend in just a minute.
That's what we should do. We should have the last 4 Big Ten at-larges all go to Dayton. Have a little Big Ten tournament in Dayton.
I agree.
Antoine Davis did not make history on Thursday night. He's now 3 points behind Pete Maravich on the all-time Division I men's basketball scoring list. He needed 25 points Thursday night to tie the record, 26 to break it. He got 22 on 7 of 26 shooting from the field in a 71-66 loss to Youngstown State in the quarterfinals of the Horizon League tournament. So, on a surface level, this is a team below 500. It's not a good team. The season should be over. But there's some thought that one of these little goofy postseason tournaments is going to invite Detroit and give Antoine Davis another game to get 4 more points to become the all-time scoring level leader at the Division I men's basketball level. We really need this.
So before I break into the details of how this could well happen, where do you stand on this in terms of if it does happen, if Detroit Mercy plays in a pay-for-play postseason tournament, almost, nakedly for the purpose of this? Where do you come down on that?
I come down on I don't really care.
Okay.
But I also think, and like full transparency, I was asked to write about this in anticipation of him possibly breaking the record last night. So I finally,
that's right. That column never got published. It's
just sitting there. It's just sitting there. Maybe it'll run someday. Right now, I got 800 Antoine Davis words that might never be read by anybody other than me and Marcus Nelson. So, but there's sort of what I realized while I was writing about it was there is no way to intelligently write about this or talk about this without just crapping over it completely. So if they really do manufacture another game to allow him to get this record under these circumstances, it's just another way to crap on the achievement, because like he's now played 144 college games. He's 3 points behind Pete Maravich, who set the record in 83 games. This is 144, maybe about to be 145. At the very least, if he breaks the record, it will take him 145 games to do it. So Antoine Davis has a chance to be the all-time scoring leader at the Division I men's basketball level, but he's nowhere close to the type of scorer Pete Maravich was. Pete Maravich was a 5-time future NBA All-Star who averaged 44.2 points per game in 3 seasons at LSU from 1967 to 1970. So he did it in 3 seasons, 83 games. Antoine Davis is in his 5th season of college basketball, and that's another thing where the context matters. He's only even in a position to maybe do this because the NCAA gave everybody who played in that 2020-21 season an extra year of eligibility. So he is in a 5th year. And then the other thing where context matters, he did all of this scoring at a mid-major program that is 59-88 since he enrolled. He also considered a transfer after last season. He visited BYU, Georgetown, Kansas State, Maryland. If he would have transferred to one of those schools, he wouldn't be anywhere close to this because he wouldn't be asked or even allowed to take 22 shots a game. So the only reason he's in this position is because he's played 144 games compared to Maravich's 83. He's played 5 seasons compared to Maravich's 3. And he's played for a bad team where he was just allowed to go take, in this season, 22 shots a game. So when you try, there's no way to talk about this without saying congratulations, but whatever.
They're also in this position. He's only in this position because a year ago, there are 2 postseason tournaments that are by invite and pay to get in, pay to enter. It's the CBI and the Basketball Classic. And last year, Detroit Mercy, a team that before it played in the Basketball Classic was 14-15. It played, it lost to Florida Gulf Coast, and Antoine Davis, he added 24 points to his career total by doing that. So it begs the question, had they not done that a year ago and he was 28 points shy of the all-time record instead of 4 points shy of the all-time record, would be having this conversation. Here's what I have been told by one source connected to this situation. The CBI is strongly considering inviting Detroit Mercy. Detroit Mercy will have to pay to get into this thing. And I don't know the exact figure, but it's tens and tens of thousands of dollars. All right. It's not in the 6 figures, but it might be between like 40 and 50K for Detroit Mercy to do this. Hell, maybe Mike Davis will literally pay that out of his own pocket to get his son the all-time record. Maybe that does happen. The CBI has invited sub 500 teams before. In fact, it always, if there's a power conference team, it almost always says that most recently happened with West Virginia, like 3-4 years ago. West Virginia had a bad season, but it went to the CBI. I believe Mike Davis said Thursday night that the program is willing to play in it if it gets an invitation. The question becomes, does this just become a all too obvious play for marketing publicity and to to get a few more subscription dollars to Flow Sports. Because if they do this, it's going to be on Flow Sports and the CBI. If they go to the CBI, they were in the Basketball Classic last year. Maybe there's a bidding war that's going. Maybe Detroit Mercy can drive the price down. Which of us can you afford the cheaper price to? I do think that if this happens, and I do think there's a chance that it will be something that unfortunately sticks to this record with a notorious asterisk next to it, because I actually have no problem with the COVID year and him doing what he did here. And yeah, he did it playing for his dad. That's another factor. Like Antoine Davis, all-time three-point record. He's had a really good college career on a bad team. But even though not a ton of people are going to watch Detroit Mercy play whatever team it plays, if it does do this, I actually think that because of how it could happen, it will carry, it will carry an asterisk, not in an official capacity, but in a practical capacity. And so they can do whatever they want. He can go chase the record if he wants to chase the record, but he had the opportunity against Youngstown State on Thursday night and went 7 of 26, had a three-pointer right as time was expiring to send the game into overtime. That one went awry as well. And I do want to point out, like, I watched the entire game. There were a few times where he hunted his shots, and he did get off 26 shots, but he did also distribute. Like, if you watch the flow of the game, he could have easily taken 35 shots. So it wasn't like he was hunting on every single possession, but he wound up with his worst scoring game in more than a month. In fact, the last time he had that poor of a night from the field and in the box score was when they played Youngstown State, the best team in the Horizon League. So that's where we are with it. There's nothing wrong with being 3 points behind Pete Maravich for the all-time scoring lead. It's a hell of a career. It's one of the best careers from a scoring perspective ever. But I do think there's a distinct chance that Detroit Mercy is going to play another game. And if this happens, by the way, like, maybe we'll mention it for 45 seconds on the pod, because that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure both of those tournaments, they happen concurrently when the NCAA tournament is happening. So even more reason why no one's going to be watching. Do you really want to do this in obscurity and do it? Hakeem, I'll leave you with this. Hakeem Dermish had a great way of putting this last night when I did my HQ hit with him, the tremendous anchor. He said, Detroit Mercy appears like they might be trying to make this happen instead of letting it happen. Thursday night, you would have let it happen. You won your way in. By doing it this way, you're making it, or as you said, manufacturing it. And I think that will not sit right with a lot of people.
Yeah. Some evidence that the CBI is, I think, likely to invite Detroit Mercy. Rick Giles, who runs the CBI, like, I've known Rick for 20 years. He's tweeting nonstop this morning about Detroit. He's the president of the CBI. He was retweeting, people saying stuff like, Detroit, Antoine Davis might have one more game, could go to the CBI. And Rick Giles would retweet that. He's the president of the CBI. So that appears to be the direction we're headed. If they play one more game and he breaks the record, he'll be the answer in the form of a question on Jeopardy someday. If they still play Trivial Pursuit, he'll be on a card somewhere.
Trivial Pursuit, big time Tri-Poo fan. You play some Tri-Poo?
When I was younger.
Oh, we got to make that happen.
You want to play Trivial? You want to play me in Trivial Pursuit?
At some point, I enjoy it, and I don't get to play it as much as I would like to. Yeah.
So he'll be an answer to a question, but when LeBron James becomes the NBA's all-time scoring leader, people like celebrate. He is nobody scored more points in the NBA than LeBron James. Nobody's ever going to celebrate Antoine Davis's achievement in that way. But either way, like, if you want to be the answer to a trivia question someday, accept an invitation if it comes from the CBI and go score 4 more points to pass Pistol Pete. Real quick on this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where Antoine Davis was committed to before he actually went to Detroit?
Was it Houston? I thought it was somewhere down there, right?
Yeah, it was Houston.
Yeah.
His dad, Mike, was the coach at Texas Southern. Antoine Davis was committed to Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars. And then during his senior year of high school, Mike got the Detroit Mercy job, and Antoine decommitted from Houston and committed to Detroit. So there is we've just been talking about how Antoine Davis is doing this for a terrible team and blah, 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 blah. There is another alternate universe where Antoine Davis is a starting guard for the number 1 team in the country right now. He would be nowhere close to the scoring record.
Right.
But there is a reality where we've got a Marcus Sasser, Jamal Shedd, Antoine Davis, 3-guard lineup in Houston, which would be fun.
Agreed.
Nada. I think it's time for the final 4-1. Can you update us on the records, please? Some are saying my lead is insurmountable.
Some are.
I can't call a 2-game lead insurmountable.
2
Oh, I
games. Is
can.
it 2
I
games?
can.
I
Watch
thought I
this.
closed. I thought I closed by 1 last week.
No, you both went 4-1.
Hard to improve on your deficit when I'm out there going 4-1.
Okay.
Like I thought you would have closed too, but all I know is that GP is 20 games over 500.
20 games over 500. I ain't no Detroit Mercy.
Oh gosh. We got a big weekend ahead.
Some people are calling it insurmountable. I ask people sometimes, I'm like, what do you think about my lead? And they say, it appears insurmountable. That's what people are telling me.
I know what I need right now.
What do you think? Oh,
There we go.
not this again.
Let's go.
I hope you don't try to bring this to television next week. What if you just start playing music like in the B block?
I will not.
What
I
in the
will
world?
not. But this is how I get it back. This is how it happens. Game 1. Let's go.
Game 1, Saturday, noon Eastern. Number 2, Alabama at number 24, Texas A&M inside AC Law Arena. You can watch it on CBS. It's America's most watched network. It's the network of stars. KenPom has it, Alabama -3. It'll be the presumably final road game of Brandon Miller's now controversial college career.
And this isn't a roadie at South Carolina. I will take A&M in this spot. I think it's got really good potential to be a very competitive game and a very close game. I will go with Buzz Williams' team has lost once since February 1. That did happen last weekend at Mississippi State. But I'll go with the Aggies. No chance at claiming any SEC crown, but I think they've got enough shooting and enough offense in the interior specifically to get it done. At home, Aggies win, Aggies cover.
Ever since it's been known that Brandon Miller was connected to a murder, Alabama hasn't been that sharp. Needed overtime to win at South Carolina. Beat Arkansas at home only by 3. And then struggled at home the other night with Auburn. They were down big. Came back and won the game in overtime. So credit where credit's due. They're your outright SEC champs. But they have not been playing their best basketball recently. That's a big ask for them to go on the road and win at A&M. I'm with you. I think A&M wins the game, so I'll take the points. I got A&M straight up.
We agree.
Game 2, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Number 23, Kentucky at Arkansas inside Todd Day Arena. You can watch it on CBS.
You sound surprised.
I'm just
You picked the game.
I know, but I'm just wondering if I got all these networks right.
Okay. This is a CBS game. It is America's most watched network.
This is a network of stars. KenPom has it Arkansas -5. As of this moment, we do not know the status of Cason Wallace, who left Kentucky's midweek game and lost to Vanderbilt with a leg injury of some sort.
That's a good point. Man, not knowing his status actually might change my pick. I'm going to do it. It's Kentucky to cover if Wallace is available. It's Arkansas to cover if he's not.
No, you have to place your bet right now.
Why?
Because you can't have qualifiers on everything. You either take
I feel
Kentucky.
like if you had thought of this
plus the
first, you would say it's allowable. I feel like if you thought of this first, you would have said, no, we can do this. But since I came up with it first, you don't want it to happen.
I was going through
for me, but not for thee. That's what I'm hearing right now.
I was going through TSA yesterday, and they said, can I see your boarding pass? I said, of course. And then they said, what's your lead looking like now? I said, it's 2 games. And they said, this seems insurmountable. That's what it was said to me. That was the word that was used, insurmountable. You got to pick the game. It's either laying points with Arkansas or taking points with Kentucky. I'll
take Kentucky to cover. I'll let you try and get this lead to be even more insurmountable because I know I know you're taking the Hogs in that snout. I know you're doing that. I will take Kentucky inside the number. When you see our picks on CBSSports.com, I will have Arkansas straight up, but Kentucky +5.
Eric Musselman on a senior day inside Tide Arena?
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Eric Musselman on a senior day inside Todd Day Arena with Kentucky definitely without Savu Wheeler and possibly without Case and Wallace.
Some team is destined to go in the SEC tournament on a skid. Kentucky would be on a 2-game skid. Arkansas would be on a 3-game losing streak if it lost at home here.
They're not losing at home. Arkansas, I'm laying the points. Give me the Razorbacks at home. Game 3, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. It's Duke at North Carolina inside the Brady Manick Center.
Dude, the music changed just as you change games. We are on fire right now.
We're in rhythm.
We're so in rhythm.
If we could only replicate this on television Tuesday.
There's no shot of that happening.
What do you think we should wear?
I'm going normal attire. In fact, Nick Parco, CBS Sports editor, is putting out odds on what band T-shirt I will be debuting on Tuesday. I'm not going to tell you, but I'm willing to hear guesses. And if you'd like to put a wager down on the odds, feel free to do so. You got to be a YouTube subscriber to know. I've got a cycle of like 30 to 40 different band T-shirts. That's all I'll be doing. You need to wear a hoodie. You're not in a hoodie now, but I feel like hoodie is your go-to.
I'll wear a hoodie.
All right. What's the game?
It's Duke at North Carolina. You can watch it on ESPN. KenPom has it UNC -2. Big quad 2 opportunity for the Tar Heels.
Can I play 2 sound bites at once, or am I going to stop the music if I do this? Hold on. I can't do it. I can't. I was going to do the Let's Go Duke. Come on. It's a good thing I didn't try that on TV. I will go with Duke on the road. If that happens, Carolina, let me bring this up here real quick. If I saw this last night, the ACC men's basketball Twitter account put up the bracket if it started on Thursday. It doesn't, by the way, but we will have this finalized. We'll have it finalized by Saturday night. So if North Carolina loses, which I'm going to predict it to do, if North Carolina loses at home to Duke, it will then, I think it'll be the 7. Wake Forest is the 8. I don't know if we can get higher or not. But it would play the winner likely right now of BC Louisville. Okay, has to win that. Then it would go on and play Miami. North Carolina would need to beat Miami. And then I still don't know if North Carolina would need to would be in. It would probably have to beat Virginia. And if not Virginia, it would have to beat NC State. One more attachment to this. The ACC is a 15-team league. You can only have 14 teams play on a given day. So NC State is your team that is odd out. They are in the field comfortably. I would advise NC State once we get to the ACC tournament, not losing to the winner of what will probably be Virginia Tech, Notre Dame. I think they're probably going to be okay, but I would advise them against that. I'm going to take Duke to win at UNC and put Carolina on panic of all panics going into the ACC tournament, probably needing to win 3 games to assure itself of a bid in the Big Dance.
Right now, does North Carolina make the NCAA tournament?
Well, a win.
You have to say
I'm going to say no, because if I say they beat Duke, it drastically changes their outlook. Now, that being said, they beat Duke, and then if they lose their first AC tournament game, probably get them out of here. But I'm going to say I've changed my tune here. Now that we've advanced this point, I'm going to say no, because I'm predicting North Carolina to lose to Duke on Saturday.
Welcome.
Listen to him just pop in all of a sudden. In fairness, he is the one who said it's over for North Carolina. He said it weeks ago.
He did.
I think he's right. It's not over, but I don't think they're going to get there. In the pick that I provided for CBSSports.com, I also took Duke to plus the 2 and to win straight up. But given the rules that we've created for the Final 4 and 1, I am obligated.
That's right.
To go opposite you on game 3.
Said weave. This is your rule. I had nothing to do with this, and I don't oppose you changing it. But again, a man has a code.
You have to have a code these days. You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. Saw that on Facebook one time, I think.
I think that was from The Dark Knight Rises.
Saw that on The Dark Knight Rises one time. Pretty sure. So I got to take North Carolina minus the 2.
You don't have a choice.
I don't feel great about it, but maybe Caleb Love will shoot better than 30% from the field. You know, you never know.
Over under. In all seriousness, over under. Caleb Love 30% from the field.
I'll say over. I'll go over.
30%.
But I'm not.
That's atrocious. So
I'm not.
but it's
sure.
possible.
We'll see. All right, North Carolina is my official pick, only because I have to go opposite dead leg in game 3. Game 4, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Number 25 Pitt at number 16 Miami, inside the Cavender Twins Arena.
Oh gosh,
They're something else, aren't they?
Let's get to the game.
They're always up to something.
Basketball.
Them gals are always up to something, you know? They're always out there doing stuff. You ever watch them?
I got to be honest and say I'm aware of who they are, but no, that's not. What are your thoughts on the game, Gary Parrish?
I don't really have any.
Okay.
Although it is a big game. We're going to decide an ACC champion. Because right now Miami is 14-5. Pitt also 14-5.
Yeah. What did Pitt do since we last talked? Lost at Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Mike Bray going out with a win at home in his final home.
They still have internet. They still have internet up there in Payne. Heard from any Pitt fans in the past couple of days. I hope they're okay. I hope they're all right up there.
Winner is guaranteed a share of the ACC title. I say guaranteed a share because Virginia plays Louisville and Virginia will not be losing. Virginia is guaranteed a share before even tipping off. Okay?
Yeah.
Virginia is already guaranteed a share of the ACC regular season title, and it has not even played its game yet. I am going Miami to win, Miami to cover in Coral Gables. Canes are the better team by every measure, other than literally where they stand in the conference right now. They are tied in the record book, but I'll take them every other way. Miami to win, Miami to cover.
I hope they're okay up there, you know?
Yeah.
You ever just not hear from somebody in a little while and you're like, I hope they're okay. I hope they're doing all right.
Yeah, I understand.
It's my relationship with Pitt fans right now. Boy, they couldn't stop tweeting there for a minute. Couldn't stop.
I know.
I ain't heard anything past couple of days.
What are you taking?
Hope they're okay. Miami. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Cavender Twins Arena with a ACC title on the line? What are we even talking about? I'm laying the points. Miami and Virginia will be co-ACC champions.
And one. It's time for the N1. I was surprised you didn't put this one in. I have to objectively put in the best, or at least, I don't know. It's the one that seems to have the most on the line this weekend among elite teams. Saturday, 10 Eastern on ESPN on Toby Bailey Court.
Ooh.
It's number 8 Arizona at number 4 UCLA. Ken Palm has the line. You ready for this? UCLA minus 9. Who you got?
There was an argument between UCLA and Arizona fans as recently as 2 weeks ago about who's the better team, who's got the better resume, who should be higher seed in the NCAA tournament. Now that's over. UCLA has a 3-game lead in the conference standings, and assuming they win at home, which is what they're projected to do, they will win the Pac-12 outright by 4 games. Would you have UCLA a number 1 seed right now? I would.
I think I would narrowly have Purdue. How about this? UCLA would be, if we had a bracket right now, blind bracket, I'm either picking Houston or UCLA to win the whole damn thing. But I have Purdue by the narrowest of margins ahead of UCLA on the one line. And I mean narrow, and that flips if UCLA beats Arizona this weekend. Who are you taking?
My number 1 seeds right now would be Houston, Alabama, Kansas, and UCLA. I would have Purdue as a 2, but I understand it's very, very debatable. Taking Arizona plus the play. It's just a lot of points. I think UCLA wins the game, but 9 points. That's what you're giving me. I'll take Azuolas Tubelis plus 9 points.
I have to take Zona 2, which I believe now means nada. You're tracking this in
Either
real
way,
time.
you've got it all wrong. Ken Palm has it UCLA minus 7.
I have 9 in the document. What do you want from me?
Well, you're the one that put that there.
I know. Hey, listen.
Wait a minute. It's not even 9 in the document. It's 7 in the document.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
I hope you clean this up before TV.
I have
Tuesday.
9 in my other document with my rest of my schedule here.
I hope you clean up all this nonsense.
Oh, this is what they wanted on television. What do you want from me? I'm sticking with Arizona. I assume even though 7 versus 9, you're sticking Zona plus 7.
Yes, but the big bosses are going to be watching on Tuesday. Don't ruin this for us, Deadleg. You got to get your numbers right.
Me?
You got to get your
I'm
numbers
not the one
right.
that needs to be worried about going on television with FCC regulations, okay? I'm not the one that's going to be monitored in this situation. Cavender Twins Arena, okay?
Them little girls, they're always up to something,
Ah.
you know? They're always
Nada.
up to something. Those-
Nada. I don't think I can surpass him this weekend, right? Because we don't have more than 3 games different.
You cannot surpass him, but you can
Okay.
tie if he misses on these things. You can't
Okay.
surpass him. You can tie.
That's fine, and we got plenty of time in March. It's only a matter of time here. All right. I see the chat. I didn't forget. Trust me. I know the most important game of the weekend, and I'm getting to it. Here's what you need to know. Bubble games galore. Friday night, New Mexico 21-9 at Colorado State. Has to have it or has no at-large case, period. Needs it and then needs to win in the Mountain West tournament. Lobos Friday is your only game with urgency. It is an auto bid weekend. We will have 4 bids handed out. 1 on Saturday and then a troika on Sunday. Here's what you need to know. Saturday, Ohio Valley Championship. As always, the OVC gets the first bid into the big dance. That's 8 Eastern on ESPN2. We don't know the matchup yet. Morehead State is the 1 seed. Sunday, 1 Eastern, ESPN2. Big South title game. UNC Asheville, coached by Mike Morrell, has Drew Pember, a Tennessee transfer. He's the Big South Player of the Year. Asheville is the 1 seed. 2 Eastern on CBS. As always, the Missouri Valley could be a huge Bradley Drake title game. Hope we get that. Those are a couple of great teams, both top 80 level in KenPom. 2 Eastern on CBS on Sunday. And then 3 Eastern. Why did we not lead the podcast with this? We already know the matchup. 3 Eastern, ESPN2. It is the us versus them title game. It is Liberty at Kennesaw State, a university in Greater Atlanta taking on Liberty. There has never been a more us versus them situation in its entirety. This is a bonus. This is a bonus. Let me bring this up right now. There is a line because there's a KenPom line because we already know the matchup here. Liberty, this is KenPom has it. Liberty on the road. Kennesaw State's the 1 seed. Never been to the tournament before ever. Liberty -4 on the road. Nada, this is going to the tally. Us versus them. Who you got? Because them is favored, GP.
I would never go with them.
Okay.
You're telling me you got a bunch of guys who do it against a bunch of guys who don't. And the guys who do it are getting 4 points?
Who's going to be tight before this game? Come on now.
You telling me we got one team with fluid buildup and another team that doesn't have fluid buildup from the greater Atlanta area?
You're not going to say the phrase fluid
done
buildup on television next week, right?
I've done it in the greater Atlanta area. You ever done it in the greater Atlanta area, Deadleg? Be honest.
I have not.
I have.
I have not. Again, this is not for television. Get it all out of your system literally over the weekend, okay? I'm serious. We're on the same page. Kennesaw State. Come on. More of us. Hashtag more of us.
There's
All
more
right.
of us, Kennesaw State. If your official Twitter account after you win this game doesn't tweet, there's more of us than there are of them.
Oh my gosh. Make it happen.
Come on,
Instant
Kennesaw
legendary
State.
status. Yes.
You're from the greater Atlanta area.
Make it happen, Kennesaw State. Your Saturday bubble watch is here. Tennessee at Auburn, 2 Eastern. Auburn loses that. We have this is already a real situation. Tigers. By the way, how about Bruce Pearl's reaction on the radio after the Alabama game? You heard it?
I had not heard that.
Oh, I wish I had it queued up. I figured you'd heard it. He started screaming. I'm tired of our guys getting smashed down there.
Oh,
Smashed!
no, I have somebody sent that to me. I didn't even know that was Bruce Pearl. I just heard the audio.
And then after he ends it, he goes, "It's a joke." He did him. He did a me. He did. It's a joke, and he threw off his headset right into the mic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, how about that? Tennessee at Auburn, 2 Eastern on Saturday. K-State
one
at
of
West
us.
Virginia.
VP's one of us.
Obviously. K-State at West Virginia, 2 Eastern, ESPN Plus. These are all bubble games. UNLV at Nevada. How about this one? 5 Eastern on. What's your Mountain West Network situation at home base, Gary Parrish?
Do I have it?
And that's the question.
I mean, I should.
All right.
Is
but
it on
you can't
DirecTV?
confirm-
I have every channel DirecTV offers.
you
Every
can't-
channel.
Can't confirm or deny in the moment. I'm just saying there's a contender steps into the ring. Okay. UNLV at Nevada, 5 Eastern, Mountain West Network on Saturday. More bubble. Oklahoma State has to win at Texas Tech, 6 Eastern, ESPN2 to improve its at-large case. It's currently out of the field. Florida Atlantic is at Louisiana Tech, 7 Eastern, ESPN+. AFU is a lock if it wins that game. It will be in no matter when it loses or if it loses in the CUSA title game. And then your last bubble game, well, we got a few more. Notre Dame at Clemson. Clemson has to win to just keep good standing. It won't even be in the field if it wins, but it can't lose. 8 Eastern, ACC Network. Mississippi State at Vandy suddenly takes on some new urgency. Vandy, 8:30 Eastern, SEC Network on Saturday. Vandy is a 10-win team in that conference right now. Some major developments there. Boise State at Utah State, 9 Eastern. It is another Mountain West Network game. Boise State in the field. Utah State does not have a quad 1 win and has a fascinating resume. Aggies should undeniably be in the field if they beat Boise State at home on Saturday, 9 Eastern, Mountain West Network. And your last bubble game, it's between 2 bubble teams. I think this is losers done no matter what. Arizona State at USC. Neither team could get it done Thursday night against the top of the league with Arizona and UCLA. So now it will be Sun Devils, Trojans, 11 Eastern, FS1. The other Saturday notables that are not bubble games: Iowa State, Baylor, noon Eastern, ESPN2. Kansas at Texas, 4 Eastern, ESPN. And then UConn Nova on Fox. I do want to wrap this up here. Bubble on Sunday. Shouts to Jim Nantz. He will be on the call on noon. CBS Sunday. Houston, his alma mater, is playing at Memphis. Memphis is a bubble team. That is a big-time Sunday matchup. Jim Nantz, we officially welcomed you back into the sport, your time of year on Wednesday's episode. Thank you to everyone who reached out. Nantz himself reached out and loved how it came out. So that was really awesome. He'll be on the call Sunday at noon, Houston at Memphis. Also bubble games on Sunday. Maryland at Penn State, noon Eastern, Big Ten net. Penn State could really do itself a big-time favor there. Missouri Valley title game is at 2 Eastern, not bubble, but it's in that window. Michigan at Indiana, 4:30 Eastern on CBS. Northwestern at Rutgers, 7:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network. And then the last one here on the schedule, man, it is an awesome, awesome weekend. Non-bubble game, Illinois at Purdue, 12:30 Eastern on Fox. That is just for Purdue to keep pace with the one line.
Google search tells me that the Mountain West Network is actually called The Mountain. The Mountain. We're playing on the mountain. And it's channel 616 on DirecTV. I got it.
Okay.
I'm going to go watch it just as soon as we're done.
I don't know about that.
What do you think's going on the mountain right now?
It could be anything.
Could be anything.
There's a lot of stuff going on the mountain. Yeah.
Could be anything. Tell you what. Them Cavender twins, I sure are always up to something.
Next time.
They're always creating stuff. Content.
Bonk.
They're content creators. Shouts to Devin Downey. Shouts to Chester, South Carolina. Shouts to Huck. Shouts to Larnell. Thank you guys once again for listening to the Eye on College Basketball Podcast. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe anywhere you subscribe to such things. Apple, Spotify, over at Apple. If you're a Kennesaw State fan, especially, please leave a nice review.
Us
5
versus
stars.
them title game. Us versus them.
It's us versus them this weekend, and us is getting 4 points. Are you out of your mind?
Have you not heard the phrase "sex is undefeated"?
Yeah. Well, that's a long story, you know?
Okay. Sometimes it's not that long. Let's go.
All right, dead leg. Get it out of your system. We're going on TV Tuesday. Can't be talking like that. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, do that. There's more of us than there are of them. We're going to talk to you again on Sunday. Till then, go Kennesaw.